seem remarkable at all. I probably had major depression since I was a teenager. I was looking at some yearbook pictures not too long ago, and I look like I'm happy, To the rest of the world, I wanted to try to be somebody that was always happy, somebody that was making jokes and was funny. That sort of presented a different face probably to the world than what was going on inside half the time. There was definitely this feeling of isolation. The stronger those feelings got, the more stark that contrast got between what the face I was presenting to the world and what was going on inside of me. And the more I felt like I was alone all the time. And there's a tendency to think that maybe something that you're doing wrong in your life is leading to this. And it really leads you to a place where you do feel like it's darkness. And I remember, praying about this a lot, even though I didn't really know a lot from a maturity level of what prayer meant or anything. I just wanted this to go away. And I remember praying a lot, just make it stop. I got to the point in 2002 where I've truly felt like the only way to get rid of this bad part of me was to kill everything. Felt like that part of me was doing so much damage to people in my life and people that I was close to. I made a plan, figured out that I was gonna wreck my car in such a way that it would look like an accident. My family would be taken care of with life insurance money and the whole bit. When I got to that point, I guess, and this is as vividly as I can describe this, when I was focused on making sure that I was going to go through with what I had planned to do. And that was the point where I had pressed the accelerator down as far as it could go and made sure that I was going to run into the end of this guardrail, and that was going to be it. And I can remember focusing on the end of it. There's a nanosecond right there where you know that I can't turn away anymore, and I just remember feeling just complete terror. It was odd because I could hear myself screaming, which is, I don't know how to describe that, and I remember feeling that for that second before I knew I was going to hit, and then there was darkness. Looking back at that, this was God sort of opening hell just this much and saying life and hell for eternity is being separated from me. But this is God saying, hey, listen, if you really want to be isolated and away from me, let me show you what that looks like. Not like you have this depression tumor in you and they cut it out and you're good after that. It's here all the time. It's a condition that has to be managed, but part of that management for me is sort of learning to listen for His voice. God is definitely that shepherd that's calling you away from Satan's voice. From having studied Scripture now over the years, that's where Satan wants you to be. That's the part of your mind that's telling you that you're the only one that's going through this. Kind of the voice in your head that's saying, you're the only one that's going through this. Don't let anybody know that you're having to deal with this. Nobody will understand. If this ever got out that you were feeling like this, people wouldn't help you. And you definitely don't want to let anybody in the church know, because then you'll be shunned and all this. And that's Satan's voice, I think. It's a strategy, again, to turn you away from the only one who can heal that stuff. And it's been what John 10 describes, which is the shepherd that has led me out of that darkness and keeps me there. So when we went through the therapy and things to help deal with the depression, it was done from Christ-centered basis and bringing Christ into that healing. And he we talking about the kind of music we like to listen to, and he said, you ought to listen to this group called Third Day. The song, and it wasn't one that was played on the radio, a lot of the lyric is, time will open doors for you, wishes spent, make dreams come true. I promise I'll be there, don't say goodbye. And I remember the first time I heard that, I think I broke down right then. That could have been God talking to me when I was driving the car that night. One of the first songs I ever heard from them, it was I've Always Loved You. It spoke to me at the moment. What I was dealing with at that time was I was feeling pretty guilty. I sort of felt like I had let him down by not figuring things out earlier and having let it got to that point. Or hearing that lyric spoke to me as, hey, don't worry about it. I've always loved you, and I always will. Don't have regret over what has been, because what has been. Because God doesn't see it that way. God doesn't see it as past and future. God is perpetually in the present.
Don't you know I've always loved you, and I always will.